All right, let's get into the video. Also, everyone, I can finally announce that if I have any viewers in London or the surrounding areas, oh my god, finally I got the show announced. I am doing a huge show. It's called 500,000 Opinions, since we are hitting 500,000 muckers on the YouTube channel. It is in London on March 21st, which is a Saturday, do not worry, of next year. And if you went to my previous London show last March, or you went to the Chronically Online tour or anything, I promise you this is going to be the most unhinged show I've ever done, because it's the first time that I have full control and not a tour company right behind my ass the entire time. So I'm really excited about it. Tickets will be down below. It'll be really fun. If you are in London or the surrounding areas, please come get tickets. It'll be linked down below. And also, my Patreon is still 30% off using the code YouTubeMucker. If you use that code, you will immediately get access to me reacting to Shane's movie, me reacting to the Ruby Frankie documentary, me reacting to Trisha's Broadway show, me reacting to Escape the Night Season 1, 2, and 3. We're currently doing 4, and also Beast Game Season 1. And also, congratulations, because you have been nominated. Yes, of course, you have been nominated to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are getting so close to 500,000. We are, at this stage, I think 8,000 away. So if you're not subscribed, please consider. And anyways, on with the video. Today, we are going to be looking into, love this hair, by the way. We're going to be looking into Trisha Paytas talking about what has been going on with James Charles and the allegations. And obviously, if you do or don't know, we were talking about this where Ethan, who was the 14-year-old boy, 14, mind you, 14-year-old boy, who spoke up about James Charles, like, in the moment, and is now speaking up again, you know, a couple of years older now, and is, like, reflecting on the situation, and is opening up more about it. And I have been seeing a very mixed response to him, and it's been, like, upsetting me to my core, because I think that a lot of times people will write off young male victims, and I'm not trying to in any way take away from, I'm not trying to in any way, please don't misconstrue what I'm saying here, because it can be very easy for people to misconstrue what I'm saying. But all I'm saying is I've felt it a little bit myself as well with past things, that, like, people will kind of diminish if it's like a younger boy speaking up about things, which is very unfortunate. It is kind of the society we live in, and I am unfortunately seeing it happen with Ethan here, which is people are looking at, you know, these videos he's posting.
Hey guys.
And I don't know what age he would be now. But anyways, and they're seeing this and they're like, oh, you're clout chasing or you're attention seeking, whatever. And so I searched through on the internet, right? Because it was really upsetting me that people were saying that. And I just want to remind you that this was Ethan when he originally spoke up in 2020.
He asked me what my age was, and I told him I was 14 years old, and he told me I was very young. And I said, yeah, and he said, add me on Snapchat because I feel more comfortable talking on there. And so I said, okay.
And let's also just note that Ethan has never changed his story. And Ethan has every right to continue calling James Charles out. And just because the general public have moved on from, obviously, the narrative that people like us are aware of with James Charles and these inappropriate relationships, doesn't mean that we should be diminishing or shing alleged victims of anybody, for that matter. You know what I mean? Who are you? Who am I to decide whether someone isn't allowed to speak up about a situation that they've gone through? Fuck out of here. Specifically whenever it comes to James Charles, who time after time gets away with these dynamics that he plays into. Sometimes playing into power play dynamics, and some other times just being highly inappropriate with underage people. And let's not forget that James Charles sat his crooked ass down on a YouTube video and admitted that at least 2 of the people that spoke forward, he did engage in it. And then he deleted that video. So when people are having the audacity to question Ethan right here's morals or reasonings for speaking up when they see him now as, you know, someone who is not that 14-year-old boy anymore, all I have to say to you is, how dare you? And the discourse has been making me so angry, like severely angry. And so anyways, yeah, I do want to play this. It's 2 minutes. This is from the OG video in 2020, because I want to remind you all what we're dealing with here, which is like,
age was, and I told him I was 14 years old, and he told me I was very young. And I said, yeah, and he said, add me on Snapchat because I feel more comfortable talking on there.
I'm
and
sure.
So I said, okay, like, let's do it, like, bet. And he was asking me to send him nudes, and he kept wanting me to go to LA, and he kept sending me nudes.
So that was one of many.
Sorry, we're hearing this, by the way, I assume this is a commentary video, so you can go and support this creator if you want. Fire Sign Fine is their name. Just want to remind you that was someone who was speaking up, a 14-year-old, by the way. And let's not forget it. Let's not forget it.
And I told him, let's do it. Like,
let's not forget that. And so remember, Ethan had then made a follow-up video recently where he is showing from back then, you know, when he was reaching out to like lawyers and police department and stuff. You know, we went through these, right? Obviously, I want to get to Trisha talking about this today, but setting the scene, we went through this. And also just one last thing that I want to say. And I hope that this discourse is not happening in my comment section. But Ethan is someone who now posts on social media. And a lot of people have been saying things like, he's doing this for clout. He's doing this for attention. Well, look, he's posting videos. And all I want to personally say on that is I had the exact same things said about me. You cannot say that someone posting on social media, which, by the way, a majority of people on the fucking earth do, has any correlation or should be impacted or not impacted by the fact that someone else took advantage of them. Why is the responsibility always coming back on the person who had these things done to them? Like, why are you going to give someone like Ethan a harder time than you would James, you know? It's not right. It's not right. And that's why I have been supportive of Ethan all this time. And I would urge you to as well. James Charles is being silent about this. So anyways, let's hear Trisha talking about it. She looks gorge.
Yeah, the new one is
Oscar's back.
The really good podcast, I think, was the original.
What's the new one?
Not This Again with Bobby Altoff.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so good to see Oscar back again.
The names are kind of crazy, but they're successful. So I didn't mean they like don't roll off the tongue. They don't remember them, but I guess it doesn't matter when you get a lot of views.
This was a looming one for me, but the James Charles update from one of
is crazy. What are we doing? I'm not saying anything about what Oscar's saying here. I'm like, this is way too normalized. Like, we're talking about one of the biggest creators, and we're just being like, oh, well, one of the victims, one of the people who spoke up.
I'm going to be James Charles is very litigious, so I'm going to use a lot of, like, allegedly and claims and stuff.
What's litigious?
Like, he's very legal, you know, like, let's do this, baby, I know the law, you know that meme?
No, that's him.
Not let's do it, baby, I know the law. Well, my full thing in response to this is, why did he sit his ass down in that video and say, oh, well, two of the people, you know, who spoke forward, like, there are elements of the truth in it. Then he deleted that video, and I've never seen any public or, to my knowledge, private acknowledgement of specifically Ethan, who was the 14-year-old. Like, how the hell are we supposed to hear another point of view? Another side, you know what I mean?
Take this down. This is absolutely not funny. My lawyer will be in contact. And then the person responded, let's do it, baby. I know the law.
Ooh. No, who was
I do love that. His Twitter is at EH Joven.
That is a niche reference, Oscar.
I'll get their
and
cards.
guess who sponsors us a lot?
Yes, Morgan and Morgan for the people.
So, yeah.
Not today, but you can still go to them. I'm going to be hitting pound law if James Charles come for us. Can I tell you, I'm proud when I see a Morgan & Morgan billboard. I'm like, look at them. I want to do a Morgan & Morgan billboard. That's my Skims.
Christmas.
What? White Lotus? Don't care. Morgan & Morgan,
my
I want to be your
God.
face. I want to be in like a...
What the hell is Morgan and Morgan? I do not have that here. Morgan and Morgan. Law firm! I also hate that AI overview is like, you just can't get rid of this. Also, sometimes it's just so inaccurate as well. Morgan and Morgan law firm.
lawyer suit.
Hey, they can sponsor me as well. Might need them.
Oh, yeah, you would eat that up.
And like in fine print could say like Trisha's not a lawyer, but she is our face.
Yeah.
I'm Morgan.
Do you even need that disclaimer?
Probably not. Just put me in there
Just
in a
to be
suit.
safe, yeah.
They have so many billboards on the way down to Orange County, and I want to be on one of them. Okay. James Charles.
Yes, well, an influencer came forward with his story about James Charles making sex.
Okay, here's the thing. I've been seeing so many people like discrediting this because Ethan does post on social media. And it's important to note that original video that I just showed you of when he's literally like 14, 15, 16 years old. You know what I mean?
Actual advances on him when allegedly when he was 14 years old, and this was back in 2020. Yes.
This is new? This came out new recently?
So his name is Ethan Rhett. He's an influencer. He just brought this up. I guess he's been talking about it a couple times. I feel like it kind of reminded me of almost like the Adam McIntyre Colleen thing, where like, you know, brought it up, but then it got originally when Adam brought up the underwear, getting sent the underwear.
Maybe this is why I'm so like protective of Ethan in this situation. Whenever people are like trying to say anything about clout or attention, I'm like, all this has been said to me and go fuck yourself.
Like it just got like squashed.
And again, if he's built his social media now over the last couple of years and wants to talk about this again while he has an audience backing him, good for him. That's exactly what happened with me. And people finally fucking listened the second time. I say all power to him.
And, you know, Adam got ridiculed. And it didn't like turn against Colleen until later on when there was like other things to corroborate it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it reminds me of, because he has tried talking about it a couple times. He tried talking about it back in 2020 when it was happening, because he was 14 at the time, but he was amassing like a TikTok following. Like he had around 600,000 followers in 2020. He claims that back when he was 14, James had liked, commented, and followed him from one of his TikTok.
And again, if James is reaching out to him on social media, why is it not a problem that Ethan is a social media influencer? Like, this just seems so hypocritical. It just seems like constantly trying to like dilute the situation at hand.
And
pisses me off.
Then started reaching out to him in DMs, and they were having like a back
Why?
and forth in DMs allegedly. And then Ethan claims that from there they took it to Snap. And on Snap, they would just, at first they were just talking back and forth. Ethan claims that James also like FaceTimed him. Again, at the time, James was born in 99, so he would have been 21, and Ethan was 14. So,
dude, oh my God,
Ethan
there's
claims that
no
James would, like, FaceTime him,
justification.
and they would talk, and then after a few days, it would turn more aggressive. So Ethan claims that
this makes me so
on
angry.
Snap, he would wake up and then see photos of James's like privates and butt and him in the shower.
What are we doing?
Ethan says. And James would ask Ethan to see like his happy trail. And he said,
We're talking about a 14-year-old here, by the way. We're talking about a 14-year-old. Don't allow this in any ways to get less diluted or more diluted. We're talking about a 14-fucking-year-old.
says that he was 14, so he didn't have a happy trail, and he was embarrassed, so he said that he shaved it, and that's why he didn't have like body hair. And when Ethan says when he wasn't returning the sexual vibe back to James, that James allegedly started threatening him. It was like, well, if you do or say anything, then everyone's gonna know that you're gay and like you're in the closet, etc., etc. Yeah, so these are all the claims. So there's been a few times he again tried to come out with this when he was younger at 14, 15 years old.
Wow.
And then
And the fucking pressure as well of being that age.
guess earlier this year he also tried to come forward and talk about it. But the videos got deleted. I believe it was after, timeline-wise, like around-ish the time of the Kayla Malik, James Charles situation. But the videos got taken down for bullying, like mysteriously.
Again, and I've been seeing Ethan speaking up about the fact that even his recent videos have been taken down. And it's like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, in a world where, like, this person who is having these allegations set against them can be posting freely on platforms, but no one is allowed to challenge them.
And he was getting like a lot of hate and backlash. Both times when he tried to come out, like I guess James's fans would threaten him and his family, especially because with like his sexuality, to clarify, he doesn't say one way or the other, but his families were getting threats about him being in the closet. They were doxing him.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, he just got a lot of hate and backlash.
It's just not
and then
right.
He just posted this past few days. He has been bringing them back up. His claims, and now he's providing more like context of receipts to kind of back up his claims a little bit, because he says in 2020 he actually started working with legal counsel, like a lawyer, and
This is also so much pressure on a 14-year-old. Like, people are looking back and being like, oh, like, yeah, you're now showing us emails and stuff like that. Like, we believe you a little bit more, whatever, like this, which is just so gross in general. But it's like, can you imagine a 14-year-old in the moment having to deal with all this? I'm surprised he did as much as what he did. Like, come on now.
he shows on his TikTok like different email exchanges with the lawyer that he was working with at the time to kind of validate, like, yes, this actually happened in 2020. Like, look at the back and forth with this lawyer. The lawyer that he was working with was in contact with he lives in Frisco, so he was like with Frisco PD.
Oh my
And
gosh.
they were gonna start like looking into it, but then he was getting so much hate and backlash that he got, again, he was 14 at the time this allegedly happened, so he was like intimidated that he like ghosted the lawyer and ghosted the PD and like dropped everything.
Again, was 14 years old. Let's have a little bit of grace here.
Because he was like too scared of all the hate that he was getting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So he's now where he's sharing this on TikTok?
Yeah, so now he's been sharing this on TikTok, and so there was those receipts that he provided, and then he had a couple other small things, and he said that he is in the process of like recovering more, because it's 5 years ago now, so he's lost some. Again, it's
Okay, all in all, just to say, why has there never been any, from my knowledge, acknowledgement from James on this? Surely this would be something you would either shut down if it isn't true or address if it is. Like, how are you as a person okay with these allegations just kind of being out there? That, oh, you were just like being inappropriate with 14-year-old. Oh, no worries. No worries. Okay, yeah. Okay. We'll just let that one go.
It's obviously, these are like unsubstantiated because James has not responded.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm like, why isn't James responded? Like, no wonder it's so easy to paint a narrative against James, because these things get said about him, you get shown things, and then he never responds. This is not like a simple little silly allegation. We have people speaking about that you were inappropriate with them when they were a child. Like, that is things that one way or another you address. And the fact that he hasn't is so strange to me. Like, I want James Charles to respond to these things. I want to hear what he has to say about this, because in a world where he doesn't, what are we doing? We just exist now where James Charles does this thing, and then we'll just always have like allegations of him being inappropriate with minors just floating around, because that's not okay. That is not okay,
But the clips that he has shown is like, he has to corroborate the FaceTime call. He had a friend that was with him that recorded a little clip of him FaceTiming with James, allegedly. Because obviously, again,
why did it even get to that stage?
Power dynamic that we've heard about a lot of times, of them being excited that like an influencer that big is talking to them.
Yeah.
He showed his older brother, who kind of thought that something was weird about it, took a video of a couple snaps. One snap that he recorded was one that just said like 4 years, like was the text on it.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, obviously the math, 14 plus 4.
Jesus
18.
Christ.
And then there was
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Video as well, because obviously I guess that could be easy to fake, but there was a video as well where Ethan allegedly had asked James like, oh, like it'd be cool if you did my makeup for a video, and then his brother recorded James's reply, which is like, I just hate putting makeup on hot guys, blah, blah, blah. So those are the receipts that are outright that he posted as of now.
Yeah.
But,
oh, man.
Yeah, and I feel like he gets very emotional in it too. Yeah. And there's also an element of like, people are there's a few elements here going on. He's a male victim. Yeah. He's like, again, he doesn't clarify sexuality, but he's very strapping, like he's strong, he's built, like he's very like masculine appearing, so there's that element. Yeah, like he's like a gym, like he's a lifter. So he's, I thought
you were gonna say like he's femme or something.
No, like he's very masculine and stuff. And I feel like that is something I feel like people have trouble.
Well, yeah, people have this like stereotype in their head that it's like, oh, well, you're strong and manly, so deal with it. You know?
Processing him, like someone like that being a victim of like someone who's like very femme, you know? So
Yeah.
And so many times people in general who've done bad things will get away with things if they kind of rely on public perception of what their, you know, victim or alleged victim would be. Like, if they are really strong and built, well, you can't be a victim because you're strong and built. You know what I mean? Or, oh, God.
I think that element's going on. And then he also, like, he does OF, so I feel like also the idea of, like, a sex worker being a victim, I feel like people really, even though I feel like those are the easiest to, like, victim.
Again, I'm just seeing a lot of excuses and the conversation not being where it should be, which is on James.
Is really.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, like, they're so susceptible to being in those situations, but I think that's another element where people, like, aren't taking him serious.
Or a lot of sex workers become that because being a victim.
Yes, that's exactly. I was thinking that too. Yes.
I mean, like a lot of them that I worked with and knew. And
yes.
You know.
Because he's very open about like that trauma that he's holding on to from being 14. But yeah, I mean, this time he's gotten a lot of views. Like when I looked this morning, his TikTok had like 5 million views. I mean, again, this is the third time that he's like been speaking out about this.
Wow. And the comments.
Very mixed. A lot of them are like in support, or it's kind of that's the thing. It's kind of the usual. It's sad. It really is sad because it's kind of like the usual firestorm of like. I mean, we saw it with Kayla too. Half the people believing, half not, or there's some.
And people are so strong on either side. The people that believe, and the people that don't. And it's like, it's the like dramatization of a situation, which often leads to situations like this being able to be unresolved or unaddressed. You know, people like James will rely on people being divisive on this rather than him actually having to address it.
Mixed in there too.
Which is why we see videos from Ethan talking about this in 2020 and now in 2025.
That are like, yeah, but I still like him anyway. You know, it's like really sad. Because it is also like the consistency of like
the subject of it too. It's not just, you know, something light.
Yeah.
And just the ages.
The age is like,
being so young.
It is actually, like Kayla's was morally.
I just don't understand why people aren't taking this as serious as what they. So let's gather here. We have someone who has been speaking out for 5, almost 6 years about James Charles being inappropriate with them when they were 14 years old. Okay? Let's put a full stop right there. From what we as the public are to believe, that in these 6 years, there has not been a substantial enough response from James Charles to do with this topic. And I think that is where the conversation should end in terms of this back and forth. You know, that in itself is a crazy sentence. Not good. Not good. So for the naysayers or the back and forths, I believe, I don't believe, my full thing is, why is James allowing someone out there to say that he was doing this to them when they were 14 years old? Surely that's something you would shut down, if not true. Right?
Bad, you know, but this is actually like illegal.
Yeah. And children.
Yes, it's so.
Yeah, that one.
I also think people who often get called out for things rely on public fatigue, whereas people are like, oh, we don't want to have to talk about James Charles in this scenario or scenarios, so we're just not going to give attention to this. And it's gross. It's gross.
James hasn't said anything.
No, as of now, James hasn't said anything. Again, this is all Ethan's side. Like, we don't know James's side. We just have to do the due diligence there.
We should know James's side. Why are you silent?
I mean, if it's the third time, I feel like he needs to probably address it.
Yeah, and this, again, just from, like, Ethan alone, is the third time. And then contextually, everything else that we've, you know.
Also, just a side thing, not trying to be shady here at all, but whenever it comes to hot topics and stuff, it is so clear that Trisha has, like, mentally clicked out. Oscar is doing such a good job. I saw another couple clips as well. Like Oscar is definitely holding the Hot Topics down, and I understand that's their dynamic now. But it is interesting seeing like how much Trisha like kind of wants to be uninvolved whenever it comes to Hot Topics.
It's like where there's smoke, there's fire. Again,
Yeah.
innocent until proven guilty, et cetera, because this actually would be a crime, you know?
Yeah, and it's like so serious. So any speculation, anything is like not right.
Yeah. It's like, but it is.
And he went to the police at one point.
Yeah, and then just got too scared to like follow up with it.
Because he was 14.
But I don't know. It will be interesting to see. I think it is at least important to shed light on it so more people at least like. I feel like he deserves to like get his story out there because literally that's like all he wants. He's like, all I care, like I don't care about like canceling anybody. I just want like justice for something that has like traumatized me. So
yeah, it's such a scary one too.
I know. I just want people to, like,
worst is
him,
putting yourself out and people like not believing.
Yeah,
you.
that was actually something he said too.
Yeah.
He was like sad. He's like, if something like this happened to you, like he was like getting emotional. He's like, just be careful. Like, don't be like me and just like go and post about it on the internet. Like, think about what you're gonna say because people won't believe you, which made me really sad as well. Because people can be, I mean, as we know, it can be just be so vicious. And if you're not like the perfect victim, I think we see that a lot too. You know, like if you're not the perfect victim, people won't take you serious.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like people know where we stand because the stuff that James has admitted to, like, is awful.
Yeah.
So we've already blocked disavow. Like, there's like no coming back from certain things, and I feel like the stuff that James has already admitted to, long time ago, since Lita, what like armpits, like all this stuff, like it's like okay, we already know you have like some weird thing going on. I mean, yeah, and like you said, I mean, I don't know. I have no. My comment is I don't think James Charles is a good person based on stuff that he's admitted already. You know what I mean? And if this is true, it makes him even more awful in my eyes.
Yeah, and all you can really do is just like, you know, give Ethan like a little bit more of a platform. That's really all we can do. You know what I mean? At least, again, it like James has such a humongous platform. Like literally, it's so like his views are so high. Like anything he posts, you know, it's so daunting to like speak up. Like I feel for Ethan because it is so daunting to speak up against someone like that.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this. But obviously 5 million. I mean, a lot of people.
Yeah, so that's kind of again, like you said it perfectly. Everyone kind of knows where we stand. All we can kind of do is just like shed light on what Ethan is saying, and hopefully
always support getting justice and the truth out there. That's for sure.
Yeah, and hopefully this sends more people who, you know, can support him his way, because I feel like that's because kind of like with Bobby, you know, like you do need those people who will like just be some kind of, you get so much hate, so any kind of good vibes to counteract that, you know, and just like I feel like that's kind of what he needs, because it could feel like, what the hell is the point of this if like
and then
people
you
are gonna just not believe me,
stay
you know?
silent.
So hopefully this sends people who believe him his way. So
that is a wild one. I was not expecting that one.
It's crazy seeing how, again, I don't watch every episode of Just Trish, so I see like every couple months. It's crazy how safe Trisha handles topics these days. I mean, clearly it is, you know, because of like her public image and stuff now and not wanting to get involved in stuff. I completely understand it. I also saw a couple days ago her talking about, you know, the possibility of like ending the podcast, and she said she never would. She just like takes a step back whenever it comes to like the drama and stuff, which, listen, makes sense. Fair enough. Easier life for sure. I just think that people give so much grace to the person being called out rather than the person calling them out. And I've seen this time and time again with so many different things. And that's why ultimately I, you know, want to continue, you know, supporting Ethan here. And again, I cannot wrap my head around the fact that James will not respond to this. It doesn't make sense to me at all. It really doesn't. And I don't know, I feel like almost like a personal level to defending Ethan, even regardless of how you feel on the topic, just because people are shutting him down in a way that I have felt I could identify with in the past, for a number of reasons. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll talk about it. Any updates, I will let you know, and I will see you in my next one, and goodbye.